Welcome, welcome. I would like to begin the stream with a note from the co-owner and the creator herself down in the lab. Just got a little cameo before the stream, Miss Jill. And she says, hey guys, wow, what an amazing Commands Corner last night. You all had me tearing up. Unbelievable, Nick. Now, we'll get to the normal start in a little bit here, but in case we do have somebody that's coming over to the channel to watch a replay for the first time and they were coming from the show last night, I didn't even set him up for this, by the way, guys. Quick reflection, initial thoughts, piggybacking off what Jill has here in the chat. Any thoughts on the community and the live stream last night?
I mean, so last week on this stream, I said, hey, it's always awesome when we get you guys to show up for Command's Corner because he has a different audience than we do. Obviously, we're a Venn diagram of audiences. We kind of share an overlap, but it's always cool to pull one side over to the other. And it's so that, people that haven't experienced the Dr. Nick's difference can hear from you guys, what it is. And man, did you guys show up in force. Like the fact that we had like the Dr. Nick's army over there, it felt
Right.
like, it was, I personally, for anything, I don't think I've seen a live stream where someone asked for feedback about a company and had stuff like that happen. I mean, talk about showing up and showing out. I mean, that was huge. I mean, Jill and I were both blown away. I mean, we looked over at one point and you were reading through people's comments and
fast.
You were going quickly.
Fast.
And Jill looked over and he's like, they're still going. Like he hasn't even gotten caught up to the ones that are coming onto the screen now.
Yep.
And then again, like 5 minutes later, I looked over at her. I was like, it's still coming in. Like, this is insane. Like we couldn't even believe it. I've never seen anything like it about us or anybody else for that matter. I mean, that was amazing. I can't thank you guys enough. Like, it's just, I mean, you actually had Jill tearing up last night. Like, so it was incredible.
That's so cool. And yeah, so comments on StreamYard come in waves and I scroll up to click them and then break them. And as I scroll down, it'll give like a huge new refresh crop of comments. And I would think at different times I'm getting to the bottom and I'm like, okay, breathe, Dan. And then it was like, 30 more. I'm like, oh my God, you guys, like I gotta move on. But I also like respecting everybody's comment and giving the word and want to be heard. And so I'm like, I don't want to get away from this, but I also like, this is overwhelming and was so, the word I kept using for last night, especially when I talked to Nick, was potent. People love to praise companies. That makes people feel good. That's a great thing about our society and community.
Yep.
But oftentimes praise can be kind of surface level. Great products, love this company, great scent, stuff like that.
Right.
The potency of the comments last night from the only brand I wear, the best brand in the game, I permanent in my rotation.
Dr. Nick saved my beard.
Right. By the most important day of my life, aka his wedding.
His wedding. And then the other one where Dr. Nick's makes the only scent of any beard product I've ever bought that my wife likes.
Crazy. And then all the women talking about stealing their husband's products. And one guy was like, my wife won't even let me look at their peppermint rosemary body wash.
she's like, thanks for buying that. That's mine.
Yeah. Yeah. And then bodybuilder Ken down here says that doesn't happen for any other company. Some get close, but never like that.
Dude. I mean, that says it all, dude. I mean, there's no words. Like, we don't have words for that. I mean, it's just like it lets us know that we're doing something right. And it lets us know that we must be doing a lot of things right. And which is reassuring, right? I mean, we definitely, you always got to ask yourself that, right? And to hear that we've been back in this market for a considerably shorter amount of time than some other people that are out there.
Yeah.
And to get that kind of feedback and that kind of reassurance that we're driving things in the right direction. I mean, again, that's invaluable information from just a feedback standpoint.
Yeah. Because like you said, and we talked about last night, you guys were around before, took a break, came back. It really has been just about less than 2 years from your like official like coming out party. Less than 2 years, Nick.
Yeah. That's insane, man. I mean, just like it again, like the model we have is such a simple one, right? It's treat every customer like they're your only customer and listen to them and give them what they want and make products that people ask you for, and then listen to their feedback. Honestly, listen to it. I mean, that's kind of our entire model, right? Let customers dictate what you come out with in your product roadmap, and treat them all right, and give them things that they like using. I mean, it's not exactly a complicated recipe, but it just shows that it is. Sometimes keeping it simple works, sometimes it doesn't. I think this is an indicator that this time it's that's working.
Yep. And simple doesn't mean easy. Simple
No.
doesn't mean that it's a lack of skill. They have a simple approach, but the effort and the intelligence that goes into it is supercharged.
And I
And
think I used the
yeah,
wrong word saying simple there before we highlight
yeah.
Carolyn here, because this is amazing. Welcome, Caroline. What I think it's not a simple solution to a complex problem. I would in network and cybersecurity architecture, we like to refer to those as elegant solutions to complex problems, right?
Mm,
And sometimes the most elegant things in life are very simple, but they're painfully hard to execute properly, right?
I
And
love
that's
that.
I think kind of the edge that we walk on there.
Yeah. And Caroline is one that was in the stream last night, one of the beautiful ladies that we talk about. And she says Dr. Nick's difference is legit. And if I remember correctly, and this is, again, another reason why you love giving back so much, is I believe 2 streams ago, she won the complete shower lineup and mentioned it last night. And then is now back trying it for herself. She doesn't even have like, oh, I'm a customer, I need to like this because I bought it. She could think anything in the world that she wants. And she says the Dr. Nick's difference is legit.
And talk about a perfect thing to win for Caroline here. I mean, that's not that our butters or oils or anything else wouldn't have been beneficial here, but I mean, getting shower products into hands of somebody who is going to really has likely used good shower products before and has something good to compare us to, and then comes back to say that she likes them. I'm sure she's had no shortage of $40 bottles of body wash from from big cosmetic stores, and the fact that we can stand up next to it, that's awesome.
For sure. And she came back to buy more. So look at that.
Well, and now you get to get some IPA oil along with it.
Yes, yes, yes.
Get that
Okay.
hops.
Let's go ahead and go into a more traditional welcome, but I did want to get that because I know we'll have people in the future watching on replay because they're at work or the schedule just doesn't line up. If you are
Sure.
in the future watching this, please leave a comment down below the video. You can't join in on the live stream unless you're live, but give your thoughts. Make those comments heard down below. We always appreciate that on this show. My name is Dan C. Bearded. This is the Dr. Nick's Amazing Man Stuff YouTube channel. If you're watching, thank you for your subscription. If you're in the stream now or in the future, just see if you can hit that thumbs up. As always, it's free and it does help out this young, growing YouTube channel. And beyond that, we have Jill rocking in the chat. You guys got to talk about her a lot last night. Jill is mainly on the creation side of things. She's the one blending the scents, coming up with the ratios and researching these ingredients and putting it all into practice, but also does customer service emails, but also works with the shipping and receiving department and coordinating them, but also gives feedback and everything that Nick does as well. She is absolutely amazing. And if you're new here, you will see Jill on stream from time to time, and you can pop back on some recent ones. Just 2 weeks ago, we had Jill on stream talking about the mystery scents of April, which was really cool. And then other than that, the gentleman over here that I'm so excited for people to get to know. I've always said when I have a job like a live stream like this and trying to highlight the best of a company, it's very simple when the number one task for me is to get Nick in front of people. That's it. Like, that's it. I don't need to tell him what to say. I don't need to like prompt anything. I just need to get him in front of you guys. The more, the better. Trust me, that is an amazing task to have. And a couple of things, if you guys don't know, because I do want people to get to know Nick who doesn't know. He is a father. He is a husband. He is a business owner. And he has been in the kind of entrepreneurial cybersecurity world for a very long time, protecting some of the biggest companies and banks and hospitals in the world. And he does it on consulting. He's done it with companies. He's been all over the map. But the true passion project, and I like that term, I think it fits very well. The true passion project for Nick is this. He gets the most direct feedback. He gets the most actual individual impacts on people's lives and really gets to understand the community doesn't have to think about every single, like, oh, is this case going to make or break everything? He just wants to make products for you guys. And this is someone I've gotten to know at such a deep level. And I'm excited for you guys for who are new here to get to know Nick today. And after Nick says hello, he's got an interesting story for you guys. I don't even know if he planned on telling it, but he's going to tell it today. So Nick, first off, how you doing?
So good. I mean, good. Last night was amazing. I always have a good time here on stream, and overall things are awesome. I'll get into why I have my foot elevated with an ice pack on it right now under my desk, and how it took me a couple of minutes to make it up the stairs here at the office. But again, the funny thing is like we talk about this a lot. So again, how am I doing overall? Fantastic. Couldn't be better. We talk about how, like, what is this, episode 93, without ever missing one, without ever missing a beat on a Tuesday, whether it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon or 9 o'clock. And I was at the x-ray, so I had my foot on an x-ray machine, I think at like 11:45 ish this morning. And there wasn't at one point where I was like, I wonder if I need to text Dan to like reschedule the stream here, because I'm thinking to myself, nah, I'm good. I'll be out of here by like 12:15 back at the office. It gives me 30 minutes to get upstairs, get ready for stream. I'm ready to roll. And there's no way with a day that started off with x-rays that I at least wasn't kicking off my afternoon with this live stream, because if it was going bad, this makes it better. But I mean, between last night and this here now today, and just again seeing everything that's coming in here, how the heck can you feel bad about anything, really?
Heck yes.
What's a toe?
All right, so hit them, Nick. Tell the story you just told me, because it's worth it. It's
so here's good. The thing. Here's what I'd like to do, actually. Instead of just telling the story, give it a brief 30 seconds of people's comments to see guesses on how did Nick tear 2 ligaments in his foot connecting to the joint of his big toe. Everyone knows me here pretty well. Those of you that don't, make a wild guess. Maybe I was wrestling a bear with a pencil. I don't know. Who knows? Skateboarding I saw already. There's all sorts of things that based on what I do, I could have torn my foot. Right? So let's see what we get here for about 30 seconds.
While we wait for those answers, I did mention this on stream last night, and I think a couple people like turned their heads because I was kind of brief about it on purpose. Yeah. And my buddy Timothy says, Nick, where did you get your Doctor of Time and Space degree?
I am well, Timothy, I'm glad you asked. I am accredited that way by the Universal Life Church, which you can find at, I believe, theuniversallifechurch.com. It's always good when someone says, where'd you get your doctorate? And the answer ends with a .com. I think immediately that adds a level of legitimacy that is otherwise unobtainable.
No, it has different pull.
Obviously, Yeah. And so you can go get your official ordainment there if you need to, like officiate a wedding as what was the situation, when I did it. And then after while in the checkout, you can choose to get an honorary title in addition to your ordainment. And they have honorary doctorates of all sorts of things. You can be a doctor of metaphysics. You could be a doctor. They have a Pastafarian title where you could be a doctor of the flying spaghetti monsters.
I used to teach about them.
Yeah, so you could get ordained as a Pastafarian priest. I think it's pretty good. But okay, so what do we?
Yeah.
Is
So
that a cult? The real? Yeah. No, unfortunately. It does not come with any fringe memberships like those to cults or anything else. Like you have to go start your own cult with the title that they give you. It's sort of a kit, sort of a process.
And just so you guys know, essentially, it's if you want to be the ordained minister of your friend's wedding, you search it online, you find it. He's not like attached to this church or anything like that. It's more fun.
No, it was a complete gag, and I just figured for an extra $30, how do you not click the checkbox to be a doctor of time and space? I mean, that's the best $30 I think I've ever spent in my life.
Truly, it's worth much more. And so, all right,
skateboarding, nope.
Creeping up on 100 episodes. That's freakishly true.
That is not how I hurt my toe, though.
All right, skateboard, nope. Breakdance?
No. Oh, Jake, so close. So actually, very close.
A pit show?
God, no, nope.
Stubbed it?
You know, also pretty close.
Dropped a bottle of beer oil on it?
Dude, that would have done more than tore some ligaments. That would have been like total foot destruction. These bottles are heavy.
This might be our closest from Jason G. You kicked
something
something in the garage.
So if it was no, I did not. Nope, I did not kick something in the garage. But that would be just as old of a man move that I did to actually hurt my toe.
All right, Nick.
Okay,
Hit
well, so
Hit 'em
there I
with it.
was. There I was around noontime yesterday. My son's elementary school farewell event. He's finishing up 5th grade this week. Putting elementary school in the rearview mirror. So they had a series of events, of which they expected you to take 3 hours out of your Monday from 10 till 1 o'clock. Thought I'd point that out. So there we go through the farewell ceremony. We're going through. You get to eat lunch in the cafeteria, which was a total throwback. I haven't smelled cafeteria like pizza in so long. I was like, holy crap, this brings back so many memories. But again, I'm 40, so I had a turkey wrap. Anyway, afterwards, we go out and you're invited to go play some games out on the field with your kids. And there I was getting ready to play kickball, adults versus kids, which there was a really funny part of that didn't involve me that I'll make sure to include after this. So no, I did not hurt the foot that you kick a ball with. You'd think maybe that'd be the foot you hurt playing kickball. Sadly, no. It was my second time up. First time up, cleared the bases. Really good. Almost clipped a kid with the kick. Didn't though. Second time up, again, clear the ball way out past second base. And so I'm going and I'm going to make it to second. And this kid, grabs the ball. He tries to throw it and tag me with it. So I dodge it. And I'm like, ha, suckers. Definitely making it to second base. And his friend catches it and decides he's going to run it back on me. So partway through, he throws it. I try to dodge it to get around it. And when I did, I pivoted on my left foot wearing skate shoes, Vans Pro Skates that I usually wear in my bindings on my longboard. No idea why I decided to wear them to field day like an idiot. So my foot went one way. My shoe kind of stayed planted another. My big toe was off doing something else on its own and completely not going with the flow. And so immediately had ultra sharp shooting pain, hobbled back, which by the way, if I would have missed the ball, it would have all been worth it, but I didn't. And he tagged me. So now I was like the hobble of shame, like back to home plate. And so I'm like hobbling a little bit, didn't want to play it up and let him know that he got the best of me, but he did. So anyway, go in today. I figured, okay. So I told Jill, like you always do, right? You kind of, like, I'm not, it's probably fine. Just gonna put some ice on it, has some ibuprofen, see where it goes in the morning. And I wake up this morning and it's like double its size, swollen. It's purple. Can't bear any weight on it at all. So I was like, okay, fine. Time for x-rays. So I went in, and as it would turn out, I didn't know, and there's no way to know, I guess. But I have apparently a bone spur on the joint in my left big toe knuckle. And when I pivoted, it decided to cut its way through a series of layers of soft tissue and then into a ligament where the ligament attaches to the joint. So I have like the bruising apparently is from bleeding in there, and the pain comes from two little heads of a ligament where it attaches to my joint being severed.
So you cut a ligament with your own bone.
Yeah, dude, that's pretty brutal.
That's next level, man. Like you didn't just hurt, you cut it with your own bone.
Yeah, it's like my bone was like, I don't like being shaped like a normal bone. I'm going to grow sharp edges. And then those sharp edges decided to act like a serrated knife and just cut through my own ligaments.
God dang, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That is insane. And you're probably going to have to remove the bone spur, right?
Yeah, they say the bone spur's got to go. So I told him like, maybe in the fall. So I have my buddy who's a incredible surgeon and doctor. He works on hands and feet, and he's an endocrinologist. He has got like 6 commas at the end of his name. So I text him And I'm like, what are we going to do about this? And he texted me back right before the stream. And he's like, well, just let me know when you want to do it. We could do your hand and your foot at the same time. That way you can just kind of be laying around extra worthless for a while. And you don't have to do an extended run with one after the other. So apparently he wants to do my left hand, and he wants to do my right hand and my left foot, basically in the same series of operations, which he says is totally doable. So that'd be interesting.
It's so interesting as we get a little bit older, and I know I'm a baby
Easy.
compared to many, that the things that are just so minuscule in your life that, like, you work every day, you work all day, you do like stuff around the garage and power tools, and you electric skateboard, and you go hiking up mountains and all this stuff. A 5th grade kickball game is going
That's
to
what
be a
got me.
very severe injury.
That's what got the best of me. You know, it's like they say the worst accidents happen close to home. You know, I feel like that's kind of like what this says. It's like, yeah, I'll play kickball.
Yeah.
You guys are going
not
down.
even thinking about it.
No, I played kickball a million times. Like, and plus, like between hiking and snowboarding, electric skateboarding, and wakeboarding, and mountain biking, and everything else, not so much as a scrape. Go play kickball and you slice through the ligaments in your big toe with your bone spurs because you're ancient. Like I'm 40, man.
Sneezing over the age of 35, confirmed. Yep, that's a
Oh,
new level.
100%. Wait until you dislocate a rib from sneezing while you're just, sitting without active shoulders,
Yep. Yeah, Jake says, right around 40, I noticed I wasn't in my 20s anymore.
That's the one.
What could go wrong?
No, I mean, jeez. No, I don't know. You're dead on though. Like I think I realized that things don't bounce back as quick, and things that didn't used to hurt. Like I didn't know that I could dislocate my ribs so easily doing so many things. And apparently I have scoliosis, and that makes my spine curve. And then you got your rib heads that poke out, and then they hit your shoulder blade muscle, and then that causes a neck spasm, and then that gives you a headache. And it's like, there's so many things that's like, where the hell did all this come from? And when?
Yeah. Yep. Amazing. So if you guys relate to Nick's story, you are probably old. No, just kidding. Just being nice here. And then did you have a side story with that? Something?
I did.
Yeah. What you got?
So yeah, when the kids were up, there's this one kid who had a boot on his foot from another injury. So he was just pitching for both teams. He just stayed up there. And so anyway, the kids were up. Kid kicks the ball. A guy in the infield right next to first base catches it. And he's looking to, like, Jill's on first base at this point. He's like, do I throw it over to her or do I throw the ball at the kid? And so he looks over and the kid's running, and he just kind of side throws the ball, doesn't like chuck it super hard or anything, and throws the ball right between the shins. Kid clips it and goes face down right on the dirt, skids on the ground.
Oh, nice scrapes and everything.
He kind of like hit on his shoulder and went on his side. And then of course the kid was fine. He didn't get hurt or anything. He like got right back up, and he's like, oh. And so of course I yell out at the guy. I was like right between the spokes.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, and he's like, of course. He's like, of course that happens. He's like, he's like, ah. So of course everyone was like super timid, like throwing balls at kids, because that's exactly what I would do. I would throw it trying to get the kid like out, and I would just beam him in like the side of the face completely on accident. Like it's
100%. I don't have the ability to like kid it down or
to go soft.
Down.
Yeah, I don't either. I have one speed, and it's full Viking.
Yep.
And it's just like
I think that's why my kids are so good at soccer, is because they've been playing a grown man for 4 years
who refuses to let them win. It's like
yeah, literally. So oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely
so anyway,
amazing.
Here I am. I got this. This is working out pretty good. We had it in the freezer here at the office, my little frozen bead bag.
Oh, we have that exact same one.
Everyone does, because we buy them from CVS.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. It works well though. It's a nice conforming one. You can wrap it to the shape.
So here's my problem is it says hot or cold, right? Where does it say that? It says it right on here.
Yeah.
Because you can, there it is. Hot or cold
therapy
pack, right? Now, when you're buying this, you're like, oh, sweet. I'm being super duper multi-purpose,
Yeah,
and I can use this for either thing. Well,
right.
no, you can't. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you why.
All
And
right.
it's all a big scam because what happens when you need a cold ice pack, right? You can't put it in the freezer then, right? You
No,
have to have it in the freezer, right?
correct.
Right. That's how ice packs work, if
Correct.
not mistaken, right? Because they're in the freezer, then they're frozen, and then when you need it, it's frozen and you can put it on your foot.
Yeah, because you don't wait for it to freeze once you hurt your foot.
No. Now, if you read the instructions on those after you destroy a couple of them, it will tell you in very small portion of the directions that you cannot microwave a frozen bead pack. So now you
Ah.
tell me, do you truly have a hot or cold pack, or do you have a pack that you can decide at the very
Yep.
beginning is going to be a hot or a cold pack?
Enunciation, man. That matters.
So
Ooh.
it is not hot and cold. It is
Mm.
hot or cold, and the two shall never be used. Now, if you decide to use it as a hot one, right, and it's in your pantry, and then one day you're like, I haven't really used this thing much. Sure, then you can freeze it. So there is a fork in the road with a little connector back there somewhere.
Yep.
But words do matter because I feel like CVS has gotten the best of me here. And I feel like now I need two of them. I need one that takes the or hot direction and it stays in the pantry and you can use it when it's hot because I never have one for either temperature that I need. It's either warm and it's not frozen or it's frozen and I can't heat it up.
Yep. Yep. Now I feel like you'd be
I call
friends with this
BS.
name. It just suits you. I drank what? He said he's gonna put a
Yeah.
order in for key lime in the beginning of July.
Heck yeah.
You guys will be ready for them. All right,
Mm-hmm.
guys. We are going to kind of talk about last night, which we did already, and essentially just a really beautiful day for people to either get to know this company and this human for the first time or to get to know them even deeper. So if you guys have questions or you have topics you want to go over, put them in the chat. We'll do our best to address them, whether it's about Dr. Nick's as a company, whether it's about Dr. Nick's products, or whether it's about Dr. Nick himself. We would love to just dive deeper today. And a couple of good ones to start with here. I really love. We'll go with David first, and he goes off topic, but I just want to know who the two guys are at the beginning of your ad that runs on YouTube. I see it over and over again. Just need to know.
The two guys like on the walk and talk video?
So the only thing I can think of is the video that's on the homepage of your YouTube. It's a reel on Instagram and
Yeah.
the
It's our
walk and talk.
walkthrough
I
of the
can't think
shop,
of
right?
anything
Where
else. And there
it's so
are
it's
two
it,
guys in it.
so they're both me. One of them, I was trying to embody the alter ego that everyone has lovingly named Rick. So I guess Rick would probably be the guy in the lawn chair doing the heckling, in the shorts with the beer, and the other guy is just me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
If
just
that is the video we're talking about, I'm almost sure it is.
I know. I was trying to think of anything else. David, is that the one you're referencing there? Probably with some sarcasm. If not, I'm like, what ad? What ad could it be? But
Yeah, it's got to be that one. That's
yeah,
fantastic, though. So my buddy was going to be the other guy in that video, and he couldn't make it that day. And I didn't feel like rearranging my calendar that I had kind of set out for that day and the rest of the week where I had time blocked off to do it. And so I just decided to go home and get a change of clothes and some props and just play both parts.
okay. I don't even know if I'm familiar with this one, but Phil and Ken are saying there's two dudes standing side by side, tall black beard, one with a shorter white beard. He must mean the
Mm,
slideshow one.
must mean the slideshow one. Oh, the slideshow one with music. Yeah. Who? Oh, hold on. Because here's the funny thing. We we have like a big group of photos that we've been using from just our stock of people with customers or me at events and stuff like that. And we've thrown a lot of them over to because you have to like when you do the stuff you can do like the display ads that pop up on YouTube and they
Yeah.
kind of just we had a bunch of them kind of mashed together. I haven't seen the ad though, so I have no idea which one that is.
Interesting. I haven't seen it yet either. And he's saying he
I
sees
see
it
it
many
many times
times.
each day. Well, you guys have to screenshot it and let us know how these things are coming together.
Please. That's amazing.
I don't know.
Super cool. Yeah, I'm like, because in yours there are two people, but it's obvious that it's you, you know. So I
Yeah.
was like, huh. Yeah, interesting, interesting.
No idea.
Okay. Let me see here on something. All right. Okay. And then here's a good one from Leo, and then just take it wherever you would like here, Nick. Leo says, I'm not sure how to put this, but it strikes me that you are more straightforward than other companies who produce fine products. No question about that. But there is a theme or a gimmick they use where you produce, you show nothing but the product, and the customers that's straightforward, and that's straightforward. That's it.
Dude, so thank you, Leo. I mean, that's huge. That's the goal. there,
Right.
there was really early on with this whole thing. The idea was like, so wait, instead of doing what other people do and finding ways to talk about it that makes it seem like we do it better, what if we actually did something that we think is better, and then we just let people see it, right? That's literally it. Like there would, I mean, thank you for calling it out, but I mean that's our, what you just said is our entire business model, is that we want to be painfully transparent, good and bad, right? There's lots of times where Jill's like, oh my god, I can't believe you said that, and it happens. But once you take the filter off, there's no like intermittently putting it back on, right? So you do
Right.
have to be careful. But no, the idea was to actually try and do something that was different enough that you didn't have to make up a way to talk about it. You literally just could let people see it inside of a fully transparent glass jar, and if it was better, then people would know it's better, and they would talk about how it's better, and they would come here and say things like that about how we're doing it. So we I mean, that's huge. That means what we're trying to do is coming across correctly, just kind of like what the feedback last night made us think, you know?
Yep. And I've always said the best thing that somebody or a company or a product has on its side, if it's good and it's authentic and genuine, is time. Time is the best resume ever. And the longer Dr. Nix is here, the longer Dr. Nix is in front of you guys. This is episode 93. Each one has been at least an hour. That's a lot of hours in front of you. There's a lot of content on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube outside of this. The more this company is out there with time, they just keep proving that true more and more and more. And I love a resume of time. And this is it. People, the longer you go with it, the more it's undeniable, and people have to notice that approach.
I mean, 1000%. I mean, that's like, and you say there's no theme or gimmick, you know, that, and I feel when you say there is a theme or a gimmick that other companies
Yeah.
use, and I think you're right, right? People definitely rely on a theme, and they rely on, you know, the persona, you know, or a gimmick, and I think it's we definitely don't have one. You know, it's to the point where even our marketing, you know, we were working with, you know, someone to kind of figure out how to not like necessarily do, we're not doing any social media marketing, we're not doing any stuff on Instagram so much, we're not doing any of the Facebook stuff, right? We're doing like, if people are watching our videos, how do we get them, you know, to see more of our videos after they come on, things like that, and trying to, you know, kind of target those sorts of things just so they can see more of our content.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what's crazy is that like so many people are so dependent on brand cohesion in order to drive, you know, adoption of their products. They're like, you kind of went like halfway through a brand change, and you were able to do like half your products and then do the other half of your products, and as you kind of move through things and not waste materials. And they're like, no one seemed to care the fact that like some of your bottles were one way and some were another. They're like, did you hear about that? And I'm like, no, actually, it's like we never hear anything. We didn't hear much about it except for like, hey, I like the new design, can't wait till everything's looking like that, you know. It's
Yeah.
kind of but I mean, we're so not dependent on brand and imaging and gimmicking stuff that we can literally make changes to our product line, and since that's not what people care about, they care about what's inside the packages. That's what I know gets us that kind of feedback and lets us do that kind of stuff.
Truly. And on that same kind of note here, Brian says Dr. Nix is one of the greatest companies out there, regardless of product type. One thing that I love as someone that uses this company's products, loves this company's products, is I get questions from everybody of every corner of the bearded world, and they'll say, like, hey, what do you think about this product from a company? What do you think about that product from a company? And there's a bunch of great companies. And Nick, if you guys are getting to know Nick, he shows so much love to other companies out there. He recommends companies in different situations and circumstances. If you're looking for a really strong, fragrant cologne scent, it's not going to be Dr. Nick's. And he's happy to recommend some great companies like Beard Octane and True North and other companies that they work very well with. But I will get asked about those companies, and I'll say, I mean, I love their oil. This product, it's not for me, but hey, maybe it's for other people. The crazy thing with Dr. Nick's, and most of you have experienced this, the more and more you've tried them, there's nothing. There's not one product that they make where I'm like, yeah, it's just not, it's not, it's not my thing. I don't have a preference for that. And it's just top to bottom. And I think it's especially Jill just has this relentless, like, drive to make sure a product is perfect in your guys' eyes for what the customer needs before ever thinking of releasing it.
Oh,
Scents are not rushed. Products are
no.
not rushed. If anything, it's like, come on, guys, let's go. Let's get this out here. And it's like, it's
Oh,
got to
yeah.
be perfect. And that's what comes out is what Brian's saying there. Doesn't matter the product type. You guys aren't known for one or two things.
Mm-mm.
It's across the board.
I will say that and it's not, I think it's a great thing to be able to say, but I don't feel like I'm being boisterous or bragging, I guess, when I say it, because we hear it from you guys, is that I think there's a larger chunk of people that are our customers who use our products for everything they use, than people who just use one product, right? I'd say the vast majority of people who use our stuff use far more than just one thing. I think that's
Yep.
a majority group for sure, which speaks volumes for what you just said about, making sure that everything is dialed in. And it's something where if that was, I think the way that Jill and I have always thought about it is that every product that we have should be able to be our only product, right? Like if we only did one thing, right? Every time we release a product, we think to ourselves, like, could we be successful if we were like selling this out of a trunk at a farmer's market and this is all we had? And if the answer is no, we typically stay on the drawing board a little while longer.
Wow, I've never heard that. Every product we make should be able to be the only product we make.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think that's a big part of our culture just as a whole here, because we do kind of view everything like that. We really don't have any okay maybes or okay add-ons. Like everything really, that might be good or bad, right? If there was like a business retail brand consultant in the room here, he'd probably tell us we're being idiots for doing it that way. But I think that's what makes it possible to where like the majority of our customers use more than one thing.
Man, I just typed that to you in a message just to make sure we have it down because that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And
you're
so
right.
true.
I mean, it is. And it's so true.
Yep. Wow. Okay. Two-parter next here. I'm going to piggyback these ones together. Dan B says, who doesn't love the story also of what you guys do for the homeless without anything in return? Priceless. So much respect for you guys. And the premise of this program, you guys, is every ounce of body wash sold is an ounce of body wash donated to the homeless. And then to piggyback, I was actually going to do this before John even asked. He said, do you see yourself maybe branching out farther when it comes to donating to the homeless? First off, where are you guys at like right now with the program? Because we showed last night on stream just like a massive amount, like 25 gallons of body wash donated. And I know you guys did much more. So how's that been going? And then what's the next step? And then what's the grand vision for giving back in that situation?
Oh man. So we do there, in my mind, there is kind of a grand vision out there that works across a lot of different I think a lot of different entities. I think there is an opportunity out there to kind of create a bit of a geographic coalition of people who kind of come together to do these types of donations. And that idea is sort of still in its infancy, but I think we have a platform where we could influence something like that that's much larger than just us. But if you look at who we are and what we're doing with it and kind of how it's gone and where are we going, it's we've been able to donate tens of thousands of ounces of shower products to the homeless community in Boston, and down to the point where it's in shelters and group homes and group living facilities and apartments of people that are subsidized to be able to get back out on their own. And from what we've heard from feedback from them, people really, really enjoy it. It makes a big difference. They look forward to it. And some people having something to look forward to that day is a whole lot better than not having anything to look forward to, which is the case that some of them are dealing with. So, being able to have downstairs waiting to get delivered this week or next week, another 3,200 ounces of shower products are going out the door down into Boston. Like it's 25 gallons of shower products are going out, and and so where's it going to go past this is we're eventually, and we told them to tell us when this happens, right? Eventually they're going to say, we can't take anymore. We're going to be storing it for 6 months before we can use it. And we're going to say, okay, cool. Well, who do you know that's another organization that could use something like this? And they're going to say, oh, we know these guys down south in Rhode Island, or we know these guys in Connecticut, or we got these guys in Western Mass. And we're going to reach out to them, and we're going to do the same thing. And we're just going to keep supplying both of those guys until they tell us the same thing across the two of them. And we're going to find a third. And so, I mean, that's the way we're going to grow it. We're going to grow it the same way we grew ourselves. And we're going to grow that donation base by word of mouth through people we work with who we like and we trust. They have people that they like and they trust, and we're going to go work with them the same way. And that's how we're going to very organically, I think, expand that network quite a bit.
Man, that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I cannot wait to follow. Wow.
It's been a lot of fun, and like I'm looking at my schedule this week, and I'm hoping that they get back to us with the day that she can meet us down in Boston at one of their homes where they're storing some of this stuff and distributing it, because I love being able to go, and having Wilson here at the shop is going to make it possible where I think him and I will be able to roll down there together and
cool,
be able to get some good photos. And who knows, maybe on the way down there we'll do stuff like we did around Christmas and pick up like a big bag of subs and drop them off to the guys and try to get there around lunchtime or something.
That'd be amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. Go down there and eat lunch. Dude, right on, man. Hell yeah. Coming from a guy with Easy E on his thumbnail there, dude, I'll take it.
So random question here. Nick has a CNC machine. They actually have a wood shop downstairs and do everything in-house. And they make some really cool wood display bases. Previously, there were 3 different cuts of wood that they were using. And Nick, any plans for this? Because I know you had some CNC issues for a while. Now it's back again.
Oh, yeah.
Any plans for restocking those in the future?
Yeah, we just so the short answer, yes. Thankfully, the guy that's in the wood shop now downstairs that's renting out the space for the bulk of the wood shop, not where my stuff is, but Thatcher with Plymouth Live Edge, awesome dude. He's down there now as a tenant. And my CNC machine has its own little area, and we just finished our shipping and receiving table. Of course, we were going to move that upstairs today, but torn ligaments in my toe are going to make that a little tricky. So I need to get someone over here to take my place to help carry up the other side of this 12-foot long monster. That's awesome. Because it's got to get carried outside and up the driveway. Any of you guys in Pembroke want to come move a shipping and receiving table? Dennis, what are you doing later? Yeah. So and so the trick is going to be getting that out of that part of the shop. And then Wilson just started working pretty much full time here at Dr. Nick's and downstairs with Thatcher at Plymouth Live Edge. We'll have him here on the stream to do like the intro. Obviously, we've had him on some photos on Instagram and stuff, but he had a really good idea down there. And it's one of those things where, like, don't ever be so sure of the ideas that are in your head, even though a lot of them work out, because like you're definitely going to be wrong more than you're right. And so I had this whole layout for everything down there, and it's like got these 3 bays, and where am I going to be versus where's Thatcher's stuff going to be? And we started moving it. And Wilson over a beer one time was like, how come you're using that middle one? And then you have the epoxy room over there on the other side of the room. He's like, why don't you just move all your stuff to the bay that's attached to the epoxy room? That way you can wall the whole thing up and have your own private space with a private walk-in door.
Makes sense.
And I was like, I don't know why the hell I never thought of that. Like, that's the perfect idea. So we put the brakes on everything down there. And now Wilson's doing the shuffle game of cleaning up the epoxy room, moving everything over to the middle bay, moving stuff, CNC machine over to the other one. We're building a big workbench down there. So everything's kind of chaotic. Everything's pretty much on hold now after the shipping and receiving table as far as wood products goes. But as soon as that new space is set up, it's going to be easier than ever to do that kind of work. We have a new laser coming in that can do the logos. So that part's automated. And I plan on definitely getting back into that and a number of other wood things once my little kind of dedicated space is set up. And we'll send photos along the way. But again, like I said in the beginning, short answer, yes, that and many more things, because we'll have a clean, nice, easily accessible space to do everything.
Love that. Shout out to Wilson, man. Just such a great fit for the company.
Dude, he's killing it. It's like he's taken over. He's going to own everything bottling related. So it's, I mean, everything from labels on glass bottles and bottling and labeling shower products, taking care of that whole kind of workflow of machine cleaning, filling, the pneumatic side of our bottle fillers. He's going to be building a new air compressor supply line that sits
Jeez.
outside and bringing it in with us. So, I mean, it's like we're growing the team, and every time we do that, the people that come to the team have skill sets that we don't, and they have, you know, the ability to get some other stuff done in time that we don't. And so it's not just expanding the filling and the shipping and receiving and all the other stuff. It's like that's giving us time back, letting us do things to help grow the company. And then that person always comes in with new ideas that we just didn't think of. Like everyone has fresh ideas in their head coming in here, which is so cool.
That is cool. That is cool. All right, big question here, but I love the thought process on this. So our guy Diablo says, who is a public figure you'd love to work with to promote the brand? So essentially the way I take that is, who is someone that has reach, who has influence, you know, way bigger than the beard world, and kind of embodies what you would want to represent Dr. Nick's, you know, the personality, the approach to life. Is there anybody that comes to mind, or a few people that come to mind, whether it's
Yeah.
rock or whatever?
Yeah, there are. You know, it's kind of funny. There's a bunch of people in the music space, obviously, but you know what was really weird is it was there was like two people I've seen talk recently, and I'm kind of like, huh, I could totally see sitting like side by side with that person or across from a table and having a camera running on a podcast and it just being a really, really, really good time. And like just thinking that it's funny that they seem to have like their hands in a couple things that are similar, or just seem like, I don't know, people that I normally maybe wouldn't be into other stuff that they do a whole bunch, but for them as a person, just kind of like the way they roll with stuff. And it was, one of them was really funny, and the other one was just sort of like a, huh, really? It's I watched obviously the Hot Ones with Posty, you know, and
Yes,
I'm
I was
like,
literally, the only name I had in mind was Post Malone.
I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't listen to his music really, and I would totally tell him that. And like I like some of the stuff he's done, and I like the stuff that where he's done outside of his normal style. Like I
Yeah.
love it. The stuff he's done with Ozzy was cool, and like
Yep.
everything else, you know what I mean? It's just, you know, but I think that would be absolutely fantastic because I could just see him and I going back and forth and being so completely sarcastic, um, and just having a good time. And he's a good dude, right?
Yes.
And then the other one that I think people are going to be like, really? But I think so, just because of like, again, the back and forth banter, but also some of the stuff that I know he's kind of like that he's sort of into would be Jonah Hill. Like he's a guy from talk about reach. He's crazy reach. He has a, you know, he off and on has a pretty decent beard going, and he loves it. And then Jill brought up one the other night based on his new found beardness that he is very, very fond of. And she got this idea after watching Everyone's in LA with John Mulaney, where he did the live Netflix broadcast a couple of weeks ago, 5 nights in a row. He had David Letterman on with his big white beard that he's rocking right now. And she's like, dear God, can you imagine like if you and Letterman were like had the chance to sit and talk? He's like, you guys would get along so freaking well. The guy's super smart. He's funny. And like he's into a lot of really cool stuff, namely like a lot of cool, like just cars and architecture stuff. He's, you know, really cool dude.
Dude,
But
yeah.
I'd say those three, man. Like Letterman, you know, let's get someone put me in contact with Posty. Like,
Yes, please. And they're throwing some good ones out in the chat. Jack Black would be immaculate, and his beard is fantastic too.
it is fantastic. And we were actually thinking about that a while back. And like the fact that him and I have him and I have a lot of history from me being just, you know, someone like literally watching like the HBO specials of Tenacious D as they were like coming up in the world. I've always been a huge fan. And
Yep.
he literally has turned into the most beautiful old crazy weirdo that I could ever have hoped that he would have turned into. Like, I absolutely love it.
We just watched School of Rock like last weekend or 2 weekends ago.
Oh yeah, for hopefully the 50th time.
Oh, it's I couldn't even tell you the amount of times we've watched that.
I love
Sam,
that
I think
movie.
said she watched it 20 times in a row. It's such a good movie. If you need good feels and you need just like a pick me up, you got to watch School of Rock.
You really do. It's such a feel good movie.
Yep. Jason Momoa, I could see that. Yeah. trying to bring in the sex appeal. I could see it.
Dan B is like, is there a finder's fee for getting David Letterman? You know, Dan, I wouldn't put it past you. Number one, and and number two, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, right. Yes, lots of products, lots of products.
yeah. There's definitely some things that could happen if you made that a thing.
I've got, and yeah, this is a really good comment. People who can show up in any situation and be totally normal. Jack Black, Bill Murray, Shaq. Yep, I could see that. Yeah.
Oh, Bill Murray would just be, I mean, talk about a cream dream. I mean, that guy's like the stories about like the Bill Murray sightings out there in the world, like that whole thing where he's
Where he
got
just
like the
is
Bigfoot on the
blends in.
cover. Like, oh,
Yeah.
it's so good.
So good. All
Showing
right,
up
ready?
to college parties and just walking in through the back and then hanging out in the kitchen doing dishes.
Right. You ready for this comment?
Get ready.
Jill says, I too think Jason Momoa is great. LOL.
Yeah. Love it.
No, I don't. I'm not reading that with any tone, Jill.
Of course not.
No.
Yeah.
Are you ready for my out of left field one that I would love to see you work with?
Do it.
And I mean this. There's no sarcasm. I think you know who this is. Some people in the chat might not, but it is a comedian. He's wild. He has a beard. And I think he would have some taglines that would be absolutely hilarious. William Montgomery. Do you know William Montgomery?
Yeah, he's a deadpan guy, right?
He is. So he's crazy. So his like big line is people will tell him like you can't do this or that, and he goes, "I ain't never gonna stop." And so he could have something about like Dr. Nick's products, and I ain't never gonna stop using Dr. Nick's products and stuff. And
oh, that'd be fantastic.
One of the funniest humans on the planet. In the way Tom Segura, no, I'm okay with Tom. I'm not the biggest Tom, and I know you guys saw Bert. I'm not the biggest Bert guy, but William Montgomery.
I used to be.
Yeah.
I used to be. Yeah.
No, they're good at what they do. There's no.
They're good at what they do so long as they stick to what they're good at.
Right. Yes, I agree. And if anybody's a fan of William Montgomery out there, I am a fan of yours now because
I love Tom Segura though. He just I'm not going to consider him guilty by association with Bert at all. He was on the he was on the John Mulaney. But by the way, if anyone used to not like John Mulaney, give him another chance. I didn't used to be a fan. Now I kind of am. And he did
the baby-faced guy, or am I thinking the wrong one?
Kinda. Yeah, he looks really young.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and he did this thing called Everyone's in LA, and it was 5 nights in a row at 9:00 on Netflix, 9:00 Eastern, and he was live on Netflix on a stage doing a talk show with a co-host with live guests. But it was the first one like this ever broadcast actually live on Netflix.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they're just now starting to do these live events, which is kind of interesting. And so he had who were we just talking about? He had Tom Segura. He was one of the guys on there, and he had a hypnotist on that episode. And he also had like Sarah Silverman on that episode, and the hypnotist was not a fan of Sarah. Surprise, surprise. And so anyway, he was he was sitting there, and John Mulaney was like looking over at Tom. He's like, "Well, you used to smoke. This guy's the one that helped me quit the smoking. Like, is there anything that like you'd go see him for? Like, you want to quit anything?" And Tom's like, "Well, I don't smoke." He's like, "But I use these Zyn pouches now." And he's like, "And I don't want to give these up at all." He's like, these are fantastic. Like, you better not hypnotize me out of liking these. He's like, because I draw great enjoyment from them, and I don't think they do anything bad to me.
Dang, okay, yeah, I know exactly who he is. Yeah, babyface is what sticks out to me. Big time babyface.
Yeah. Yep.
So okay, awesome.
Crazy unassuming drug addiction.
Right. But man, yeah, any of those. If you guys know any contacts, hey, send them on over. I know Nick would love to talk to them.
Send them over, man. Yeah, we need to get on the national stage here with some people. That'd be fun.
There's no doubt. All right, and then Billy just a couple minutes ago said, "So amazing! What a stream last night." Nick, paint the picture, because I always like to think about how people watch. How do you guys watch a stream like last night? Is it late, so you're in bed hanging out? Are you in the living room? Are you at the lab? what's the world like as you get all this feedback from hundreds of people that have tried and paid for your products?
We take it like we're super coordinated. It's a coordinated effort. We're super serious about it. So in my office at the house, it's on the third floor of
Yep.
our house is a converted attic, and it's like a kind of like the length of a house, big office space that I use. And I had this long, like 120-inch couch up there, and it's really big. Got a little chaise part on it and stuff. So we have my account, my personal account, and my Nick Phelps account logged into YouTube on the TV, and the TV is playing in front of us live with the audio. And then I'm logged in on the laptop as Dr. Nick's on YouTube, so I can have the live chat up.
Yep.
And Jill is logged in on her laptop with logged in on her account. So we have Dr. Nick's and Jill Phelps logged in, Nick Phelps on the TV logged in. And that way we can both comment as each other, comment as the company, and have it synced coming at both of us through the TV so we don't have multiple audio sources.
Perfect.
So 3 screens in total. And we're kind of sitting there. We got Sir on the couch right next to us. And we got you on the TV, feet kicked up on the couch, laptops in the lap, just going back and forth with you guys in the chat.
That's awesome. And then you guys do such a great job of responding to people because that chat gets moving fast at
It
times.
does.
And I'm always impressed with both you and Jill kind of tag teaming responses and trying to acknowledge everyone to the best of your ability.
Well, and yeah, it's super important to us. I mean, that's people don't say things because they just want to say them, right? They want to get, they're looking for an answer or they want confirmation about something. I mean, and we don't want anyone to feel like, they're less important than someone else. So if we're going to answer anybody, we try to answer everybody, and trying to, of course, answer things that you might throw at us as well. And then Jill is completely obsessive over making sure that all of her emails for the winners are out before the last contestant, is drawn, before the last winner's announced for the giveaways. And that way, the last email she sends is right at the end of the stream for the last giveaway. Everyone has their emails, typically order confirmations before she closes her laptop. And that way, it's all in the order queue the next morning, ready to get shipped out. And everyone gets the stuff they ordered, plus all the stuff they get giveaways on right away.
Yep. She's a beast, an absolute beast. And here we go. G Squared coming in. Nick, G Squared, you have to go back to the beginning. Nick shared his injury story. And he said, sorry I missed most. I caught some last night. Been extra busy at work, but wanted to tell everyone I've been applying magic butter to, and that's the beard butter, to a burn I have. It's actually battery acid burn.
Oh. So, the battery acid. Hopefully you neutralized it with something. Neutralize the hell out of that before you put anything that's a air water barrier on that, like a butter.
How does one
G-squared.
neutralize battery acid? I'm not aware of this.
So it depends on the type of battery acid. If it was lithium, NiCad, automotive wet cell, it's I think the ones for there's one that covers like a wide variety of them, and I think it's either baking soda or vinegar. Is baking soda and water. Yeah. So you should mix water and baking soda, make it into a paste, put that on there, neutralize any residual acids, air dry it, let it sit, put some butter on it. Biggity bam.
Ouch.
That sucks, dude.
Yeah, that's not fun.
I get, not to say, the reason I know that is because for some reason I have a propensity to be burned by battery acid and other hot things. And also for some reason get electrocuted a lot. So, I'm good at all of those sorts of things. Electrical burns, chemical burns. I get steam burns a lot because I steam a lot of tortillas making tacos and everything else, so I'm a mess. I burn myself all the damn time.
I think it's the pale skin. It draws.
It might be.
Burns.
It might be. Yeah, I burn a lot.
Yep. No, there's no doubt about it. And so, very cool. And so Jason G, final kind of thing of last night to kind of wrap up to understand the vibes. Jason G won a big giveaway. Loves this company, has tried this company, decided to pay it forward, did a re-roll, and it went to a first-time customer, a first-time viewer, and they get to try Dr. Nick's because of Jason's generosity.
It literally went to someone, it was their first time watching Command's Corner.
Yep.
I mean, talk about someone that's just going to be pumped. Like, man, I watched this live stream. Community's awesome. Someone gave away their prize. I won it. Got to try a new company. They do a live. It's just look at all the cool stuff that did, Jason.
Yep. And Diablo says tacos with Nick. That's an episode. Don't tempt me. I will cue that up, Diablo. We can do an entire tangent stream about tacos, and Nick has the ability to talk about that.
Dude, okay, so here. If we did that, I would almost want to go somewhere that had a good place for me to set up with a laptop and good audio and literally have taco time with Dr. Nick and like eat lunch, like on the stream, literally just all sloppy on camera, eating tacos, talking about food and carnitas and how to make braised Mexican chickens and clay ovens. And we could talk about all sorts of fun stuff.
You won't do it.
You won't do it.
You won't do it.
You won't do it.
No way.
Everyone tell them Dan won't do it. He won't do it. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Right now, while I have you guys, I'm writing that down on the idea pile. So
I'm gonna do it.
Yep, that's a challenge. You don't want to challenge us. That stuff gets finished.
Oh, Jill, what if we got Casa Romero to let us do it? What if we did it what if we did it like we went down to Newberry Street and we got Casa Romero to give us that cool little spot they have in that room, and we could like use their Wi-Fi and sit there because they make their own handmade tortillas and they make their own carnitas, and we could talk about ceviche.
You can talk fish. About it.
Eat it.
Taco about it.
We can talk about it.
Let's talk about tacos. Yeah, and we'll
That's not Joe idea.
Yeah. Oh my. We're on to something here. You can tell them they'll get tons of free publicity and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of viewers as the video goes on. So something to think about.
Baby, let's call Casa Romero. She can hear me from downstairs. Let's do it.
Yep. Let's set it up. You let me know which Tuesday and it's on.
Love it.
All right, guys, we are actually beyond our time here. The stream, if you're new here, is 1 hour long, even though it seems like a flash and goes so quickly. Thank you to anybody that came over from Command's Corner last night and dipped their toes into this beautiful community and stream. And I can't wait for you to learn more and more about this person, about Jill, about the company. Thank you, guys. What an amazing feeling last night. Nick and I were texting before we passed out and fell asleep. But other than that, I'm going to give Nick the final words. And if you guys could, just check to see if you hit that thumbs up before you get out of here. Nick, what you got for our friends?
Oh, man. Thanks for showing up and just not just showing up. Thanks for literally just representing everything our brand is about last night. I mean, people who are, like I say, people who are watching that are new to us, people that are going to watch it that are new to us, or watching this stream because they're new to us. I mean, that's who we are. I mean, you guys literally embodied it. It's not like we asked anybody to say anything or encouraged or incentivized anybody to say anything, right? It's this is our marketing plan, is to make good stuff that's good enough for people like you guys to talk about it and tell other people about it and share your experience. And if we do that right, eventually everyone who needs to have our products is going to have them. And so it's huge. And again, thanks for the platform to be able to do the donations that we do. Talking about that last night was huge. Having the 3,000 something ounces downstairs this week speaks volumes for, what you guys do to enable us to do that. So it's fantastic. It's huge. But thanks for coming last night. Thanks for coming today. And next week, it is going to be Tuesday, the 18th, episode number 94, 1 o'clock, same channel, same place, same faces. And come on back. We got some cool stuff to talk about next week, too. Maybe a couple little surprises.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby. So, yes, we'll see you guys next week. Please